She's in the lineup today, playing first base. And a very strange, we thought it was a bit strange, Jocelyn Allo. I mean, she can do anything, but you don't necessarily expect her to be in center field, but that's where she is. As we get a look at head coach Federico Pizzolini, of course. Pizzolini took over in 2020 after the tragic passing of Enrico Oblatier, and that was a dark chapter in the history of the Italian softball team, and of course that was a dark chapter for the entire world with the entire pandemic affecting everything. But that really came close to home here in Italy. But we're going to have a whole bunch of Olympians. We've got 5 are in the lineup for Italy in this game, with 1 being in the starting lineup and 3 more on the bench for Team USA. And there's another one sitting in the booth to my left, Amanda Fama. What's going to have to happen for Italy to play a competitive game today against a tough opponent, the USA?
Their bats are going to have to come alive. They have a strong offensive lineup. They're going to have to be patient, but also be aggressive facing Team USA's pitching. And then for Italy's defense, obviously make the plays, but their pitching's really going to have to step it up. They're facing the best hitters in the world. This isn't just a game against China or against another team in Italy. This is reigning champions, world champions. And so your pitches are going to have to move. They're going to have to fool the hitters, and they're just going to have to straight out outplay Team USA, which is difficult. There's only 1 or 2 teams that can do that with confidence, so they're going to have to really take this game pitch by pitch and start things off strong since they're the visiting team here.
Well, Italy, I told you they beat China yesterday. Both teams in this game won their games yesterday. USA came from behind to beat Canada. Canada played them very tough, but then the 2-run double by Maya Brady broke through the ice for USA, and they won 5-2. That's not the first time USA has had to play a close game. Last summer in Ireland, they had to use 8 innings and a walk-off win to defeat Australia 1-0. So the USA, no stranger to playing close games, but they're so experienced and they have such talent, as Megan Faremo is in the circle throwing her warm-up pitches, that they have the confidence that they can just be relaxed, play their game, and they know eventually they're going to get the big hit. Will it always be that way? Well, future, of course, is unknown. But when you're as strong a team as the USA is, you can definitely rest back knowing how much depth you have.
Exactly that. They have depth in their lineup. They are used to close games, and that's something that Italy can take into account also, is that we saw the game yesterday, a very close game between Canada and USA, and Canada starting the first couple innings ahead. So that can give Italy some confidence that they can compete with Team USA and to not kind of already give up in a game. Know that you can beat this team. They are beatable, and just move forward and again, leave the past in the past and just play in the present and take each inning at a time.
Well, you saw the outfielders getting ready. Now the infielders getting ready. Megan Faremo, who just a couple of days ago turned 24 on July the 14th from Vista, California. The UCLA Bruin, who is one of 4 career UCLA pitchers with more than 100 wins. No easy task for Isabella Dayton stepping up to the plate. And right away, James English wants the rosin bag to be moved behind the pitching plate, as I think almost every game we've seen before or right after the first pitch of the game, there's been some sort of communication between the home plate umpire and whoever's in the circle about the placement of either the rosin bag or the hole or the line or whatever. Who cares? Here comes the first pitch. Italy versus USA, underway exactly at 9 p.m. and Dayton offers at it. They're going to appeal. It's a strike, according to third base umpire Ayaka Sasajima. You know, think about what a small world the softball world is. Sasajima, who just made that strike call, the last 2 times that Italy and the USA has met in official World Tournament play, in the World Games in 2022 and in the Olympics in 2020, Sasajima was the home plate umpire in both of those games. The pitch is upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Isabella Dayton. And those are 2 games that you were a part of, Amanda. So you can speak to how difficult it is to face the pitching that USA can throw at you. You faced Kat Osterman, Monica Abbott, Ali Carta.
So, yeah, those are, I think, because I'm not playing anymore, those are the best pitchers of our time. Carta's still playing, but again, the mental side of it, the amount of movement and speed coming from them, and then transitioning to the pitching staff that they have now is extremely elite, and they work towards that too. They're constantly improving, and that's why Team USA is such a strong team.
And, you know, we talk about the close games as Dayton swings and misses 2-2 to Isabella, who was 1 for 3 in yesterday's win over China. I'll finish my thought after the next pitch. Ferremo deals. That one is slapped into left field down the line. It lands. It's a fair ball, and it gets past Lorenz. Dayton racing around second, headed for third. She dives in with a triple. And that delights the local fans as you hear 2,000 screaming Italians in the stands that were built especially for this event. A perfect slap job, and look at that bounce.
The bounce definitely plays in the favor of Team Italy, able to get their lead off, not only on base, but on third base with no outs, and that's how the game goes sometimes. You can't do anything about it, but a great job from Dayton putting the ball in play again. That's huge when you play Team USA. That's giving your team confidence. That's giving you confidence.
That's the first extra base hit Italy has had against the USA since at least 2020. And now Erica Piancastelli takes an off-speed pitch perfectly located for a strike. The thing I was going to say about the USA, yes, they have played close games. One of the games you were involved in was only 2-0. And that 1-0 game against Australia last year. But when you look through the box score, there's one thing that's in common with all of them. Swing and a miss, and that's it. Total domination from the circle. In that 2-0 game that you were part of, there was only one base runner for Italy. And in the game against Australia last year, you know, one base runner, two base runners, no hitters, they just dominate. And in that case, there's really no difference between a 1-0 game and a 10-0 game. And there's a strikeout of Piancastelli on a fastball that was barely visible due to the velocity right at the top of the zone. Ferremo wasting no time. She's in strikeout mode here. Right to the mitt.
Yep, right to the mitt, placing it perfectly outside. And you talk about the pitching and how Team USA consistently dominates in pitching, and that's something we see worldwide is the USA and Japan dominate. They have the opportunities, they have the equipment, they have everything that they need to continue to excel, and you see that in the Women's College World Series. It's just a different level, and so the other countries that are here being able to compete with that is awesome, and you can see that things are improving throughout the softball world.
Now, since that triple, Ferremo has just gotten angry. That's 5 consecutive strikes. Mackenzie Barbara, who was 2 for 3 with a long home run that she hit off of her own picture in the scoreboard yesterday. I was sitting off in the press box to the right, and there was kind of a gasp as soon as she connected with that ball, as with the other home runs that Italy swatted yesterday. 0-2, though. And that one outside, 1-2. That's the type of 0-2 pitch. It has such a purpose. Yes, it's outside, but it's outside by design. And Barbara, to her credit, didn't chase it. A lot of younger, inexperienced players, they're going to chase that, and they'll be gone on 3 pitches. But now, what's the selection for Ferremo? Off speed, a check swing. Did she go? Yes. And another strikeout for Megan Ferremo after the triple, and don't think it's going to be so easy as getting a runner to third with nobody out and then getting a bloop or a fly ball. This is not a normal at-bat.
Well, with pitchers with speed, you tend to see a lot of check swings because you have to swing fast. Your shoulders have to go. So it's even more difficult to be able to hold it up when you have power like Piancastelli or Barbara. It's hard to hold that back.
Well, Filler, who homered yesterday in 3 at-bats, she's hit by the pitch. So 2 base runners for Italy in this inning. And that we're almost halfway to the total number of base runners that they've had in the last 2 meetings against Team USA. That's, of course, once at the World Games in 2022 and once in the Olympics in 2021. The 2020 Olympics, which were played in 2021. We all know the reason why. The Ferremo, well, she got those 2 very impressive strikeouts. But bookending that, you got the triple to Dayton, and now the hit by pitch. And Marta Jasperotto, who pinch hit in yesterday's game. And they say it's tough to come in cold. Well, Jasperotto threw that out the window. She swatted the first pitch she saw deep over left field fence for a 2-run home run. That was her only at bat yesterday. 2 on and 2 out. Right down the pipe for a strike. Faremo in challenge mode.
Yeah, Team USA is not a team that you want to make angry early in the game. They just thrive on that. Gasparotto again coming off a high of hitting that home run, first pitch home run. As she's in the lineup today, she has that smaller stance. If she's able to get her foot down in time and get set off Ferrero's speed, she can be successful here and give Italy an early lead in the game.
Faremo went to the rosin bag once, back of the circle. Get the sign from Savannah Jaquish. 2 players in the USA lineup that did not play yesterday, Jaquish and Jennings. This one is high, 2-1. One thing, if you're a hitter for Italy, you don't want to give them any help. You don't want to help out by expanding the zone, chasing out of the zone as a hitter. Sometimes you go up there with a little extra adrenaline, maybe some butterflies. There's a swing and a miss. That was a nasty pitch sweeping down and away. 2-2.
And Ferrero, with the spin that she has, a curveball, we see it's not as fast as those pitches beforehand, so it's deceiving for the hitter. You see Gasparotto out in front of that a little bit. Again, each pitch is designed to do something else, where it's curving out of the box if it's 1-2, 0-2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the 2-time Pac-12 conference pitcher here in Castellones d'Estrade. It's Italy 0. USA coming to bat. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Task, there you see the defensive alignment behind her is Julia Longhi at third, Melanie Sheldon at short, Andrea Filler at second, Mackenzie Barbara at first. I'll give you the rest. After the first pitch to Haley McClenny is high and outside, and then I'll give you the lineup. The catcher is Marta Gasparotto. The outfield for Italy, Isabella Dayton on left, Julia Kutsoyanopoulos in center, Erica Piancastelli is in right. Haley McClenny is the designated player. She's leading off. Excuse me. Looks like we've had a switch. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike on McClenny. And that one is outside, looked like an off-speed pitch. 3-1 on Haley. The rest of the lineup, Hannah Flippin is batting second. Amanda Lorenz bats third. Jocelyn Allo bats fourth. Savannah Jaquish fifth. Janae Jefferson bats sixth. Jessie Warren seventh. Tiara Jennings eighth. And Maya Brady ninth. And there is a leadoff walk for Haley McClenny, who in yesterday's game was 1 for 3 with a run batted in. And USA immediately putting a threat on base as Hannah Flippin, who was 1 for 3 yesterday as well, steps up to the plate. Flippin all the way at the back of the box. Toniolo's pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. Well, Italy was able to get runners on first and third, but couldn't do anything against Megan Faremo. And now Toniolo. There's a bunt by Flippin. Charged by Longhi. The throw to first is in time. Good job by Filler to reach up over the head of Flippin as she passed underneath and keep that ball from going down the right field line.
Yeah, Longhi always has a great jump on bunts, but again, Filler being able to grab that, eliminating extra bases in a possible run. Does a good job securing that out.
And so 1 away, and Amanda Lawrence will step up to the plate. Lawrence in yesterday's game was 0 for 2, but did score a run. McClaney on second base, and this one goes over the head of Gasparotto. That's a wild pitch, and immediately moves McClaney to third.
You see that a lot with teams that play Team USA. Their nerves are going. They know if they leave that ball anywhere over the plate, especially if you leave it right over the plate, possibility of it going over the fences, it's a big possibility. So sometimes the nerves, again, we've seen some pitchers kind of approach the mound and fix it in with the dirt, but they're going to have to play smart, not leave the ball up high, because if you leave it high, Team USA, it's going to go over the fence. So the pitching's going to have to kind of dial it in and force outs on the ground and let their defense do the work.
1 ball, no strikes to Amanda Lawrence. 27-year-old outfielder checks swing. That's a strike called. 1 ball and 1 strike to her. Lawrence from Moore Park, California. Florida Gator in 2019. Won 3 consecutive College World Series during her time there. She knows what this high-level competition is all about. There's another off-speed pitch. This one too high from Toniolo. 2 balls and a strike.
Italy's defense at short's playing in a little bit, expecting a slap.
There's a ground ball pulled to the right side. It is gloved by Filler. A good flip to first to get the out, but coming home to score on the play, McClaney, and it's 1-0 USA on the RBI ground out off the bat of Amanda Lawrence.
Just gets on top of this, but again, even though it's an out, it's a productive out. They're able to score, get on the board first, but Filler does a good job getting over as she was shifted a little bit towards second base, trying to play off their notes and play off the defense, but again, gets an out, but not without a run across. And talking about when you score first, how things go.
Especially when you have somebody like Megan Faremo in the circle. Jocelyn Allo takes a strike. Allo was 1 for 3 yesterday. But there are 2 outs and nobody on. There's an off speed. That one floated in nicely. Well, if that pitch can hit the strike zone, that is a huge velocity drop. But you got to be careful if it's too slow, because then it just becomes sort of an eephus pitch. 0-2. That one's high.
I'd like to see what Allo's stance looks like from a pitcher's perspective. Does her squat being really low do anything as you're focused in on the glove?
Well, she went hacking at one of those floaters up at the zone and just barely missed it. Yeah, I have to think it's quite intimidating, because for one thing, it's difficult enough to pitch to her, but when she crouches down like that, then the strike zone shrinks a little bit as well. Almost like a Ricky Henderson, as we see that. That was a hanger that she just missed.
And she did a great job sitting on it too, and that's what you're going to see is you throw one changeup, gets her, the chances of throwing another one and it's going to fool her, not high. Come back with something fast and she's able to foul it off. That's showing that she's on this. She's expecting what you're throwing, and she's on top of it.
And the pitch upstairs. You know, that pitch actually that was a pretty good pitch, in my opinion, because Allo was looking out over the plate, leaning out over the plate. I'm not sure that Toniolo meant to throw it there, but the effect is the same. It knocked her back just a little bit. 2-2. Now the off speed, hit in the air to center field, playable for Koutsoyanopoulos, and she comes down with it for the third out. A run for the USA on a leadoff walk. 1 run, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of an inning, it is the USA 1, Italy nothing. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on the top of the second inning. 1-0 USA over Italy. Tim Collins along with Amanda Fama here for you on GameTime.sport. The second day of the opening portion of this tournament. Both of these teams won yesterday, so the outcome of this game for whoever wins is definitely going to lead to the super round, but the loser of this game will then have to win tomorrow to reach the super round. Lacatena is the hitter. Alexia Lacatena, she's the designated player. First pitch was high. The next one is a ball, 2-0. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Lacatena Sheldon and Longhi, Melanie Sheldon and Julia Longhi against Megan Faremo. Faremo allowed a leadoff triple. And boy, that's mean. You fall behind 2-0, and then that's the pitch that she throws. That's a devastating off-speed pitch right there.
And that's what's so fooling about it, is you're not expecting it. It's 0-2. Is she going to give me something on the corner? Is she going to try and get something fast past me? But she comes with that off-speed, something she's obviously confident in later in the count, behind a bit.
Infield is back. Warren at third is she's behind the bag. There's no chance they're looking for a bunt. And that pitch is a strike, just barely nipping the outside corner. Lacatena thought maybe it was outside and was thinking about heading towards first, but instead it's a full count. Off speed on a full count, and she gets the call, a strikeout. That is the fourth strikeout. Right at the top of the zone. And you see the knees buckle.
Again, being confident in that off speed, that changeup. Lacatena knows as soon as it crosses the plate how effective and efficient that pitch is. That pitch was right down the middle, but the speed change is what makes Faremo so great.
Sheldon gets around on one, but it's foul. One strike to Melanie Sheldon. Melanie was 1 for 3 with a run scored yesterday. Faremo, for her part, that's the difference between the elite pitchers. They can just throw any pitch at any time. It does not matter, and they can throw them for strikes. And when you get, especially a pitch like that coming from the low angle that it comes, if you think out of the hand that it's a rise ball, obviously it looks like it's going to be high, but then it just catches the top of the zone. Very tough.
Well, when you see batters, kind of the words you use, their knees buckle instead of being out in front of it and their weight leaning forward, it's because Faremo has such a great release point where the ball travels 2 or 3 feet in the same location. So they can't depict whether it's something coming in 68, 69, 70 miles an hour, or it's that changeup that's coming in maybe low 60s. And that's what makes an elite pitcher is, can you tell the difference at that release point? And Faremo, you can't.
And that last pitch was a high rise ball, which may set up this one. Yep. A swing and a miss on the changeup. That's another strikeout. Total dominance so far in this inning for Megan Faremo. She has 5 strikeouts. And in fact, besides the triple and the hit by pitch, that's been it. Now Julia Longhi, the captain, will step up to the plate. Longhi is one of the Olympians in the lineup for Italy, along with Gasparotto, Lacatena, and the next hitter, Kutsoyanopoulos, and Piancastelli. 1 strike to Julia Longhi. 2 outs, nobody on. And strike 2, 1 over the outside, 1 over the inside. That is what you call paint.
Painting the corners. And the inside pitches are tough with faster pitching because you have to get your barrel of the bat out in front. So your reactions have to be even quicker. Again, dominating with speed. It's
so obvious when you see a pitcher with the talent and also the skill that has been developed, like Faremo. The hitters are basically on the defensive from the moment they step into the box. They're up there, they're looking for a good pitch to hit, and when you paint the corner all the time, the hitters go up there already feeling like they're down.
Right. And that's a good point that you bring up, Tim, is when you play USA, as soon as you step on the field, you feel like you're on the defense. And so are you able to, that mental part of the game, switch over into, we're even. This is a 0-0 count when you step into the box. That's very tough. They're very intimidating. Another aspect of the game.
And Heather Tarr also yesterday, as that pitch was fouled away, she mentioned, well, 2 days ago at the press conference, she was talking about how they know, the USA, of course, they know they've got the target on their backs. Everybody is out to get them, basically. But really what that means is everybody wants to be like them. We want to play as well as you. That's the basic vibe that all the other teams have. But with that, they're trying to thrive using that position. And You know, this is how the entire game gets raised up. I mean, if you don't have international tournaments like this, then the other teams are never going to get better. The only way to learn how to hit a pitcher like Megan Faremo is to face Megan Faremo.
Absolutely.
And to do it a lot.
Absolutely. And it's situations like you said, facing the world's best. Do you rise to the occasion? And I would say for the younger girls, be brave and step into the box, because they do have the status that they have that target on their back. But the only way to learn is to get into the box. And throughout the last couple of years playing with Julia Longy up to bat, she's done a great job stepping up.
There's a ground ball to Flippin, who throws to first in time, and a ball put in play against Megan Faremo since the triple, but it's a ground out. And 1-2-3 goes Italy in the second inning. We go to the bottom of the second. USA 1, Italy nothing. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, we remind you.
To the bottom of the second inning, USA having scored a run without the benefit of a hit in the first inning against Christina Toniolo. Leadoff walk to Haley McClenny. She came around on a ground ball off the bat of Amanda Lorenz. And it'll be 5, 6, and 7. Savannah Jaquish, Janae Jefferson, and Jessie Warren. Jaquish looks at a strike. 0-1 to the 29-year-old catcher, former LSU Tiger. Standing in there from the right side against Toniolo here in the bottom of the second inning. This one is outside.
I believe Jaquish and Gasparotto catching were teammates last year in the WPF in the United States with the Texas Smoke, and they won a championship. So Marta behind the plate might have a little hands up on how Jaquish hits.
1 ball, 2 strikes as Toniolo gets one in there at the top of the zone. Now Toniolo threw a wild pitch that contributed to the run scoring. That was in the first inning. Off speed. And that one bounces. That's a good block by Gasparotto. Even when there's nobody on, you like it when your catcher can still block those, because sometimes you know you're going to have to throw a pitch down, and you want to have that confidence that it's going to get blocked.
Well, yeah, you see catchers sometimes, I said this the other night, sometimes they just sit there with no one on. They've got their knee down.
Well, no need to drop the knee on that one. That was a nice pitch on the inside corner at the letters to Savannah Jaquish. Toniolo strikes her out. There's one away for the backwards K.
Now batting for Team USA, number 22, Janae Jefferson.
Jaquish, I think, thought it was inside. Now Janae Jefferson steps up to the plate. And time has been called. Jefferson going to remove the batter's gloves from her back pocket. Jefferson yesterday was 0 for 3 in the game. And Toniolo deals. That pitch is off the plate, outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Jefferson, 25 years old, mentioned yesterday, Texas Longhorn. And she was the all-time leader in stolen bases for Texas when she finished her career. And she lashes that one foul. She also has played, obviously, with the national team in the World Games and the Pan Am Games. She had a big hit in the gold medal game versus Japan. There's a fly ball to left field. That's going to go foul, 1-2. That was the game. It was a 3-2 score, I believe. Monica Abbott finishing it out in Birmingham, Alabama. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Janae Jefferson.
I think it was Carter that was on the mound. I just remember we were able to go watch it in World Games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just remember being able to go watch the game, and the atmosphere that draws in at that stadium is amazing. And I remember watching them win and watch Japan win in the Olympics. So it was a great time to see.
1-2, trying to paint the outside corner, didn't get it. 2-2. Infield back. Not a lot of hitters where you're going to expect the bunt in the USA lineup. And there's another pitch that Looked like it was almost as if Toniolo crossed herself up on that one, as if she wasn't completely committed and then tried to stop the delivery or something. Either way, it's a full count, 3-2. There's a line drive right field, and over to get it is Piancastelli as it hung up just long enough for her to range about 5 steps to her right and make a relatively easy catch. So 2 down. Good swing from Jefferson. And now Jessie Warren steps up to the plate. Warren from Tampa, Florida. She's one of the Olympians on Team USA, Florida State Seminole. She was named the most outstanding player in the College World Series in 2018. And 1 for 3 yesterday in the game with a run scored and a run batted in. Off speed, hit in the air to center field. Deep, going back, Koutsoyanopoulos at the wall. It's gone, home run. And Warren leaves the building to make it 2-0 USA. Looked like an off-speed pitch, and she just waited on it. Put a nice, easy swing. It looked like a routine fly ball, but she's got so much power that a routine fly ball leaves the park.
Yeah, Tim, I think you're right on that off-speed. She's leaning a little bit forward, but the strength that she has, she's able to put it over the fence. And I think Team USA is starting to kind of read Toniolo very well now. She's going to go to that off-speed, that changeup quite often. Toniolo doesn't have that many pitches. She's got a fastball, she's got a changeup, and I believe a drop ball. So doesn't have too many pitches to be able to work around the USA offense. But again, like, as you start to play more at this elite level, you need to get those different pitches to be able to get past tough hitters.
Well, speaking of tough hitters, here's Tiara Jennings. She did not play yesterday. And Oklahoma Sooner, so you know what that means. She's been to the World Series just a few times. 4 consecutive World Series, College World Series victories. And this is her first time in the World Cup. 22 years old, from San Pedro, California. 2 strikes the count to her. That's high and outside, 1-2. You know, Jocelyn Allo, her teammate, leads the world in home runs, the most career home runs with 122. Well, Jennings is 3rd in the nation in home runs, and there's a rocket up the middle past the shortstop Sheldon into center field for a base hit. And you know, Amanda, you were talking about the type of swings that the USA is putting on these pitches. We saw in the earlier game, Netherlands, some of the players were really swinging hard. That home run off the bat of Jessie Warren, nice easy swing. That line drive off the bat of Jennings, nice easy swing. A lot of times there's actually more power when you don't overdo it and you just put a good solid swing. Of course, you have to have a very smooth and a mechanically sound one, but that's a good example of it. There's an off speed, bang through the middle. That's going to get into center field. Another base hit. This was Maya Brady, wasting no time. And now a home run and 2 singles. And the top of the order for Haley McClenny.
Well, I love that you mentioned their swings, because they struggled a little last night against Canada with their bats. And so an adjustment for Team USA is hit for contact. Find your rhythm, get the barrel of the bat out and make solid contact, and work our way up from there. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're hitting singles. They're playing 60 feet at a time. When you have a pitcher like Toniolo throwing a lot of off speed, you want to hit that ball over the fence. But if you overswing, if you overdo it, it's not going to be efficient. It's not going to be effective. You're going to pop up. And so they're doing a good job containing their swings. And that's going to be important as they finish out the rest of the tournament. They need to build that momentum with their bats, and they're doing a great job of that now.
Meanwhile, Nancy Evans out to the circle to do a little coaching. Toniolo still out there, 1st and 2nd. And, you know, those nice, easy swings, sometimes, I mean, when you have the talent that these players have, those nice, easy swings, and the ball goes flying out of the ballpark.
Exactly. Well, it's just pure
That'll
strength.
just happen.
It's just pure strength, right? You don't want to swing for home runs, the bat, the pitch, that'll do it. But again, play pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and just chip away easily.
Haley McClenny, who walked and scored the first run, looks at a ball outside. We're in the second inning, 1-0. USA leading, but they're threatening. Jennings at second, Brady at first. There are 2 outs in the inning. So Toniolo kind of on the fence at the moment. If there's some more big hits, it could fall apart quickly. But if she makes some quality pitches like that, she could get out of this and leave it at 2-0 where it is. I think I said 1-0, excuse me. It's 2-0. The run in the first inning on the RBI ground out by Amanda Lorenz, and here the home run off the bat of Jessie Warren. 1 ball, 1 strike. Christina Toniolo. There's a ground ball chopped right to Longi. She touches third, and the inning is over. And so Toniolo is able to get out of that jam without too much more damage. The home run brings home a run. 1 run on 3 hits. No errors, 2 left at the end of 2. It is USA 2, Italy nothing. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Megan Faremo back to work here for the top of the 3rd inning. It's going to be for Italy 9, 1 and 2. Julia Kutsoyanopoulos, and then Isabella Dayton and Erica Piancastelli. So far, Italy has 1 hit and 2 base runners. A triple by Dayton to start the game, but Megan Faremo has been in top form so far. This one is a fastball high to Kutsoyanopoulos, who was over 2 yesterday, and judging from the sound, I think they're doing the wave again. They were doing that last night multiple times. That one is high, 2-0. It's always a special event when you get to see the national team, and the Italian fans have come out strong last night. Tonight also, I expect it will be the same tomorrow. There's a pitch taken for a strike. Kutsoyanopoulos showed bunt. 2-1 the count.
And Kutsoyanopoulos has a lot of speed, unexpected speed. We always joked about when we played together, but she very well can drop a bunt and make it a close play.
Well, that was a dandy that dropped in on the outside edge. Yeah, she's been flying all over the place in center field, making plays. We've seen some excellent outfield defense this week. 2-2 the count, and that's upstairs. Kutsoyanopoulos trying to get on base for the top of the order. Isabella Dayton due up next. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a ground ball pulled fair, backhanded by Warren. The long throw to first is in time, and there's 1 away.
Is out on a grounder to third base.
It was a good job by Warren to get herself in a position to make that throw.
Backhands are always fun at third base, and she's able to reset her feet, make a strong throw. Again, Kutsoyanopoulos has that speed that you don't expect. So with a backhand, you're almost blind to seeing where the runner's at. And so that's a good, quick play by Warren.
How about another 3-2 off-speed pitch from Faremo to the number 9 hitter? And Dayton looks at a fastball strike on the outside corner. It's a lot of fun to watch a pitcher like Faremo when she's on her game, because you just stand up here and enjoy the variety, the types of pitches. There's another fly ball to left field, but this one's going to be caught by Lorenz. Not a bad idea by Dayton. She was successful the first time doing that, and she's put the ball in play both times against a very tough opponent. But there are 2 away. But what I was going to make, when a pitcher like Faremo is hitting her spots, it just becomes fun. You watch the glove of the catcher, how it's set up, how much the catcher does or doesn't have to move most of the time to receive the ball. Like that synchronicity between the pitcher and the catcher. When it's on, it is a thing of beauty. That first one was outside to Piancastelli. There's a little roller on an off-speed pitch. Flipping charges and throws off balance and gets Piancastelli at first for the 3rd out. 1-2-3. Goes Italy against Megan Faremo. And we're going to the bottom of the third inning here in Castellones de Strada. It is 2-0 USA. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Nice throw from short. Talked about how good her defense always is. And now she drives one on a line to the gap. That's going to one-hop the wall. Flipping rounds first, heading to second base. The throw, she's in standing. The throw gets away, and it's backed up nicely by Barbara. Otherwise, Flippin might have advanced even further. A rocket off the bat of Hannah Flippin. She's in scoring position. That's her second hit in 5 at-bats in this tournament. And a good beginning to this inning for the USA.
Yeah, we're starting to see USA bats come alive. Flippin doing a great job at being aggressive and putting herself in scoring position, but again, getting that momentum that they didn't necessarily have last night.
And so now Amanda Lorenz, who drove in the game's first run with a ground ball. And from the left side, she takes the pitch down and away. Jasperoto going down to a knee to receive that one. 1-0. Now the corner infielders are in. Well, at least Longi at third is anyway. Barbara at first is back with the left-handed hitter. There's a strike on the outside corner. You know, Toniolo, she gave up the run in the first inning on the walk and then the home run in the second inning. But she's battled and been able to make some quality pitches when she's needed to so far. There's a hot shot on one hop fielded by Filler. The throw to first is in time. Moving to third on the play is Flippin. And Lorenz is out number 1.
And right, Toniolo's doing a good job getting those ground balls. They haven't had any real big balls yet. Toniolo being a year or two with the national team and still young, she has to get that experience in and work through those difficult situations. And you're facing Team USA. I'm not sure there's any more difficult situation, but she is kind of holding her own here, and she's doing well.
Jocelyn Allo, who flied out to center field. The runner on third. Infield is back. Italy does not care. They will give up a run. They just want to get an out. And I think if they keep Allo to a ground ball, they'd be very happy. That pitch is on the inside corner. A strike. Mentioned Allo, 122 career college home runs. Not bad. With that low crouch stance that you mentioned before, Amanda. And a chopper through the middle. Nice play at short by Sheldon. She makes the throw to first, and the run comes home to score. But there are 2 down. It is 3-0 USA.
Another ground ball, exactly what they need for Team USA. Melanie Sheldon does take a look to see what Flippin's doing, but just too late. Again, knowing the runners, knowing your opponents, knowing the speed is key into playing into all this. Maybe those younger athletes go for that play at home. But again, the smart play is just to get that out at first.
And so now Savannah Jaquish, who struck out looking. That's the only strikeout for Christina Toniolo. First pitch to her is outside for ball 1. 2 outs and nobody on. And that one is high 2-0. All in all, I think Toniolo will take it if she can pitch through the first 3 innings, only giving up 1 run in each frame. It's just a different mindset when you play against USA.
Well, yeah, and you have to be realistic. Are you going to come out here and dominate Team USA? Are you going to get 12 strikeouts in a game against Team USA? No. So you need to be self-aware. You need to know your strengths and also your weaknesses, and go after that and be realistic against Team USA. And like you said, she's doing a great job holding them to a 3-0 lead here in the third inning.
3-0 on Jaquish. She probably has a green light. And the pitch is a strike called. And the count 3-1. Well, Jaquish was called out on strikes. Well, she's the catcher, so she's not going to want to argue too much with the home plate umpire. And that one is upstairs, ball 4, nowhere close. So Jaquish does indeed draw the walk. And with 2 outs, she's aboard for Janae Jefferson.
Runner at first, 2 outs for Team USA. Now batting number 22, Jenny Jefferson.
Well, so far in this game, Toniolo has not been able to get more than 2 consecutive outs. That pitch is a strike on the outside corner. There have been base runners, at least 1 for every 3 hitters that came to the plate. With the exception of the first inning, however, one of them came home. One of those outs produced a run. There's a line drive, base hit through the left side. Another base hit for Jefferson. And USA, Jefferson hit that line drive that was caught her first time, so she's had good swings. And now Jaquish at second base, Jefferson at first, and we may have a pitching change. I think that's exactly what we have.
I think we start to see Toniolo struggle a little bit. Her changeup was very good in the first inning, as you mentioned, really fooling or keeping the USA hitters off balance, and that's exactly what that pitch is supposed to do. And then we see her drop ball not dropping, hanging up in the zone a little bit, and USA's gotten 2 hits off of that. Again, when you only have 3 pitches, it's hard. When you start to struggle, what do you go to next? But making a change, going to a more veteran player is a good idea here for Team Italy at the right time, I think, too, which is going to be key in beating Team USA. You can't leave younger athletes in there too long. You have to make the right decision from the coaching staff side.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday in the game against Canada. Canada was holding their own, and then USA finally broke through. You know, we talked about earlier today, there's a lot of Hall of Famers around. Mike Candrea also helping out with Team Italy is another one of the Hall of Famers. We saw Lang Haro, Reiko Utsugi. So
I'd say he's just an absolute legend in softball, more of the last 2 generations, but I think an amazing opportunity for Team Italy to have Mike Candrea aboard and really take in everything that he says and helps with these girls. That's how you progress, and that's how you grow as an organization. And so with Mike on board, you've seen in the last couple of years Italy taking steps forward.
Jaquish is at second, Jefferson at first, Jesse Warren at the plate, and the pitch is outside from Lacatena. Warren hit that easy home run to center field her last time, and that was a big swing. That was a bigger swing than the one she homered on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lacatena also, prior to throwing her first pitch, called Gasparotto out to the circle. I think they maybe wanted to change their sign order. No pitch comm here. We're still doing multiple signs with a runner on second base. And another healthy cut. Warren that time had the look on her face as if she knew she got a good one. But Lacatena now in the driver's seat, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 3-0, USA leading, runners on first and second. Here it comes. Missed low. Warren not biting on that one. You can see Jaquish on second base there at the lower left side of your screen. There's a look into the Italian dugout. Everybody's up on the front step. The 2-2 pitch. A little chopper foul. We'll do it again.
And Warren with those 2 big hacks early in the count, feeling really on time with Lacatena. Now 2-2. Shorten up a little bit, but still have the confidence to be able to swing big, but she's going to have to kind of settle down a little bit, shorten up the swing, and just make contact and barrel the ball up.
A high pop. She got under it in shallow right center field. Kutsoyanopoulos makes the call and the catch to end the inning. So Lacatena comes in and closes the door. For the USA, they do get one more run. The leadoff double by Hannah Flippen, and she came around to score. And at the end of 3 complete, it's 3-0 USA. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport.
Adesso, come previsto dal regolamento del torneo, sarà una breve sospensione di 3 minuti dalla partita per cooling break e ricominceremo la sfida dalla quarta ripresa. As for tournament regulations, the game will be momentarily.
There's a look at the home run yesterday off the bat of Mackenzie Barbara, hitting one off of her own picture on the scoreboard. And I was just about to bring up Amanda. Mackenzie Barbara coming from a family of baseball players. Her father, Don, played in the minor leagues for the Angels, Dodgers, Red Sox, and Brewers. And her uncle, Dan, also did so for the Mariners. He's a product of San Diego State. Prior to that, Ole Miss from Long Beach, California. And that was a home run and a half that she hit yesterday, which we just saw.
I've seen a few home runs that Barbara's hit, and there are no doubters. They clear trees, they clear scoreboards and stuff. So with the family tree that she has behind sports, she has the confidence, but also produces when she needs to in college and here at the international level. And it's just power. She's got power, and it's fun to watch. She swings hard, and probably no other matchup. She is a player that goes in there and she's not on the defense, and that's what you want. That's what we've been talking about. She has confidence that she's going to beat this pitcher no matter who it is. You can be number 45 in the world and you can be number 1 Team USA. She thinks she's going to beat you.
Well, let's see what she can do second time around against Megan Faremo. She struck out her first time. Faremo back to the circle, and the first pitch is an off-speed painting the corner. That's what I'm talking about when you watch an elite pitcher. It's just the pitches, they make you laugh. They're like little jokes as they leave the pitcher's hand.
Well, what I like on that one, knowing Barbara is such a powerful hitter, it's a changeup, something, right? You don't want to give a big hitter a cookie in the middle, especially if it's slow, but she places that low and in front of the plate where if Barbara does get it, it's going to be a little dribbler to second base or shortstop again. Ferrero plays to the hitter each time, and that changes.
There's a fly ball off the end of the bat to shallow right field. Brady is there. She initially had started back and then realized she had to come in a few steps. One away. And I think the movement of Faremo's pitches had an effect on where Barbara connected with that one off the end of the bat. Now, you mentioned about the long home run possibilities from the players in this game on both teams, really. Well, there are some scenic destinations for home runs in this park. You've got the flags hanging between the 2 light poles in dead center field. As Andrea Filler, who homered yesterday, along with Barbara, they went back-to-back, actually. She gets a first pitch off speed for a strike. Then in right field, you have those nice tall trees with all the crickets in them making the noise. You can hear it 24/7. It doesn't matter. You know, where I'm from, you hear it only at night. Well, here, it's all the time. 0-2 quickly. I'm curious if somebody's going to reach those trees in right field. Maybe Tiara Jennings.
Well, it's a deep field in Jenner, a very picturesque field, like you're saying. You're playing Team USA, a home team, Italy.
That's the 6th strikeout for Faremo.
I think Filler's trying to hit those trees with an outside pitch. You have to be on time. You have to let that get deep, almost past the center of your body again. But Faremo just dominating that outside corner tonight, doing what she does best. And you can see she's pumped and thriving off her teammates, no matter what they're doing offensively or defensively.
Marta Gasparotto, there's a strike. All 3 hitters this inning have been started with strikes. And almost all of the hitters, I think, have been started with strikes. I haven't been keeping track exactly, but it sure seems that way. That's one of those things, you know, we talk about how each game has kind of a feel. This is one of those games you feel like you're down 0-1 before you even get up there. Well, the reality is, if you take a pitch, you are down 0-1.
Right. Well, we talk about being aggressive. Sorry, Tim, but we talk about being aggressive. We saw Gasparotto swing at a first pitch last night and hit it into the middle of the stands. But when you face an elite pitcher like Faremo, she's thrown 2 changeups, 2 off-speed pitches to the hitters before. Now you're guessing. Now you don't know. Is it going to be something fast? Do I time it up? Do I expect late? So it's that psychological game in the box that they're playing.
1-2. That one's down and away. That one looked like Jaquish had to swivel her body to the left, to shuffle her body to the left. That's the word I was looking for. And sort of backhand that one and almost handcuffed her. 2-2 on Gasparotto. Pretty upright stance. And she's able to get a piece of that off speed and foul it over our head. It lands behind us. Count still even 2-2. Yeah, I mean, as a hitter, it's very tough to get to a place where you feel like you have the confidence that you can just react, and you still have the confidence that you're going to be able to catch up to the heat. And that's the type of thing that you can really only train. You can go in the batting cage all you want, but there's nothing like the real thing out on the mound right now. Out in the circle right now. 2-2. And then you got to lay off pitches like that.
Right, which is tough, and Marta does a great job laying off that pitch against something that you have to be late. But being able to just react, like you said, only comes with repetition, live repetition, and just reacting.
Off speed and a beauty. That was filthy. Strike 3, the 7th strikeout for Megan Ferrimo. That was mean. That was downright mean. Nothing across the board for Italy. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The USA leads 3-0. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. And Tiara Jennings swats one on a couple of hops. Nice pick by Sheldon. The throw to first is in time. Melanie Sheldon came up on that one on the short hop. That's the toughest of all the hops. And she came up with it cleanly.
And she does a good job, like you said, staying down. She got a ball last night. Similar hop, got past her, so she does a good job staying in front of it and able to make an out. That's a tough play.
And an off-speed pitch from Alexia Lacatena drops into Maya Brady. Brady, the number 9 hitter, to be followed by Haley McClenny. Brady has singled. And off-speed fouled away. 0-2. With those off-speed pitches, you want to make sure they're down and away. That's the general rule, because even if the hitter is fooled, if it's down and in, they can usually golf it. That one was down and away. Brady swatted it to the left. 0-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on. That's wasted outside. 1-2. That play by Sheldon, by the way, you know, those little things. Yes, it was a tough play, and many people might have already forgotten about it. But if that allows a leadoff base runner, you're right back to the same troublesome spot you were in all of the previous 3 innings. Is Lacatena trying to throw a 0 up there. That's a nice big hop for the second baseman filler. An easy out at first is Maya Brady, and there are 2 away.
We talked about fundamental errors and stuff, and you can sit here and nitpick probably every single swing, every single play, but in the end, it's who can make a play, who can make an out. If it's ugly, and it doesn't matter when it's game time. If it's an ugly swing, but you produce runs, it doesn't matter as long as you're doing your job, making outs or producing runs on the offensive side too.
Haley McClenny watches one bounce past her, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. McClenny walked and scored and grounded out. 0 for 1 officially. She was 1 for 3 yesterday. Batting from the left side, that slight open stance. And Lacatena trying to pepper that outside corner and has missed both times. You can see home plate umpire James English actually tapping Jasperotto on the back to let her know where that pitch was. And that one's outside again. 3-0, staying away from McClenny. Two outs and nobody on. USA leading 3-0. And that one catches the corner. Again on the outside corner. In the first inning, Amanda Lorenz hit a ground ball that scored McClenny. In the second inning, Jessie Warren homered over the center field fence. And in the third inning, Anna Flippen came around to score. And that's outside for ball 4.
Base on balls for Haley McClenny.
And so with 2 outs, Flippen will get a chance to bat. She hit that rocket to the left center field gap for an easy double. And actually, she's going to be relieved by Deja Mulipola is going to pinch hit for Haley McClenny. For Hannah Flippin. Mulipola in yesterday's game didn't see a whole lot of pitches to hit. She was walked 3 times, once intentionally and twice the old-fashioned way. She did score a run, however.
Substitution for Team USA.
Substitutions always take a little bit of time because the umpires have to radio it in. Over on the first base side. That will put umpire James English. Has completed the task, and Mulipola is at the plate with 2 outs and McClaney at first base. And there's a strike over the outside corner from Alexia Lacatena. Mulipola had some long foul balls in the game yesterday.
Yeah, she had some good swings, but you said walked so many times. Such an intimidating hitter. Of course, of what she's done before, her past, her career, but just standing there is intimidating. So for her to come in and get some good hacks and good swings, help USA maybe produce some more runs.
Check swing. Did she go around? No, says the first base umpire, Tomas Lohnert. And the entirety of the Italian infield was headed towards the dugout, and you can hear all the Italian umpires in the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The only one whose opinion matters is Lohnert at first base. The pitch was also just off the edge. 1-2. That was a healthy cut. Mulipola, even with 2 strikes, she is a dangerous hitter.
And that's a good swing too. You see her take a pitch. You see her check swing. Not really feeling comfortable now. She has a good read on Lacatena pitching. Foul something good off. Feeling good. Feeling on time now.
1-2. Up and in. 2-2. Now the thing that I thought was interesting about yesterday's game against Canada, they intentionally walked her with nobody on base. In a game where you don't want to give the USA any extra base runners. They were that afraid of Mulipola. They were just like, you know what? We'll give her first base. And that's why a rocket down the line. It is a foul ball, just barely. Bouncing up against the wall in the corner. Boy, she turned on that in the blink of an eye. Told you yesterday she had some long foul balls. There's another one. This one she didn't even get any lift on. Imagine if she had lifted that, how far it would have gone. But clearly foul. So McClaney back to first. 2-2 the count. If you're Lacatena, what are you going to throw now?
You throw something off speed and try and catch her off balance. Again, but just with the power, a check swing, a 50% swing when she's fooled could even put it over the fence. Again, Canada didn't want to deal with that. Whatever it is, it has to be out of the zone. So she keeps fouling it off, put the pressure on her. Lacatena's doing well placing that ball, throws her in, makes her turn on the inside pitch, now going out. Deja has such great hands, and she's able to see the pitch very well. And that's what helps her be so successful. So really you have to spot that ball just out of the strike zone for her to get something that's not going to go over the fence, to be honest.
2-2. And you know, we were talking about what it's like to be at the plate and somehow have the confidence that no matter what comes, you can catch up to it. I think Mulipola is in that zone right now. She just looks like she's not afraid of what's going to come. She can react. She can yank it foul. She can slap it the other way. And that puts a lot of pressure on Lacatena. A high pop. That's going to be off to the left and foul into the stands. Another one. That's 5 foul balls, if my memory serves me correctly. It's only a 3-0 game here. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that this is a close game just because of how good USA pitching and Megan Faramo today is. But the reality is it's just a 3-run game right now. What happens after the next pitch, who knows? Well, it's another foul ball. How many did I say that was? 4?
Well, going back to that, they've had 1 home run. I'll be honest, I had a little higher expectations to be facing a newer, younger pitcher from Tagnolo, but they're working their way there. But still, like you said, such a close game, and Team Italy's doing well, holding them at 3.
And another foul ball slapped to the right. Let's just say that's 6. I can't remember anymore. I don't know if we're going to get up to Alex Cora territory where it's something like 18 foul balls and then he hit a home run. But Mulipola, 5 or 6. Let's just say 6. Somebody in the play-by-play can figure it out. It's probably on the data, but I don't feel like looking at it right now. This is too much fun to watch in person. 2-2 is the count. And this one's put in play to the right side, and it gets past the base runner and past Filler into right field, and Mulipola has a single. And I guess on one level, Italy has to be thrilled that the ball didn't leave the ballpark, and she chased a pitch outside the zone.
She does chase it. She does such a great job fouling those balls off with back control. This one kind of curves out, a drop curve possibly from La Catena, who does so well on that drop ball. She gets on top of it so well. So that's a great job from La Catena. And I think you could see the frustration when Filler at second makes an error, because exactly like you said, Tim, that ball didn't go over the fence. That's the third out. And so again, a little mental, physical error from Filler at second has now put runners on first and second. And those are the things that can't happen. When you're playing Team USA, we talk about those little errors that cannot happen. Your pitcher's working hard, having, we don't even know, 7, 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats, finally gets a ground ball from one of the best hitters in the world. They need to do better at that.
Amanda Lorenz, who is 0 for 2, runners on first and second. There are 2 outs. There's a strike. And they count 1 ball and 1 strike. If I'm reading the play-by-play data correctly, there were 7 foul balls in that at bat.
Was it 11 pitch at bat?
Something like that.
So we talked earlier in the last couple games of pitchers throwing those long at bats, getting them tired. It's not as hot as it was earlier in the day, but La Catena, again, really using all of her pitches to try and beat Deja up to bat. Does such a great job.
2-1 to Lorenz. There was a lot of umpiring coming from the stands on that last pitch. That's to be expected. This one just missed inside in the count 3-1. And La Catena asking for time. She wants to have a little breather and chat with her infield. Runners on first and second. McLeany is at second. Mulipola is at first. And a pressure situation. Remember I mentioned it's still only 3-0, but now you're into that part of the game where if you start putting base runners on all over the place, all it takes is one big swing of the bat from USA, and suddenly it's going to be 6-0, if not more. And so 3 balls and 1 strike to Amanda Lawrence.
And talking about clutching up, USA has an opportunity here to square the ball up, get it deep, get 2 runs in, put themselves a little more ahead from Team Italy, and it's
There's a foul off to the left, and now the count is full 3-2. Yeah, USA looking for that big blow. They're trying to blow the door open in this game. And I know you guys were talking about it in the earlier game, whether it was, which game was that? The second game you did today, the 7-1 game, Canada. There's a hot shot. Oh, a diving play by Filler, throw to first, and the inning is over. That was a highlight reel play. Andrea Filler atoning for that miscue on the previous one, even though it had been ruled a single. That was the first legit diving infield play we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah, great read, great job laying out for it. It's hit hard, so you only have 1 or 2 steps. And like you said, picking herself up from that air before, and they do a great job getting.
We go to the top of the 5th inning, 3-0 Italy over USA, and it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Alexia La Catena, Melanie Sheldon, and Giulia Longhi against Megan Faremo. Ferremo has 7 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. That pitch was upstairs. Lacatena started the game as the designated player. She took over the pitching in the 3rd inning. 1-1 the count to her. And way out in front of that off-speed pitch, 1-2. I think maybe she'll see that one again at some point. Sis Bates is playing shortstop, by the way. She entered the game in place of Hannah Flippin. And there's a Tapper foul off to the left.
We called it to another off-speed pitch, getting Lacatena to reach out for it. If you notice Lacatena's hands and where her bat is when she starts, a little different. Not as upright as some athletes do, and her hands are really close to her shoulder, but it works for her. She's one of those pitchers that can also hit, which is crucial in international play when you can have a limited roster. But she does have that little bit of an awkward angle to her batting stance.
She has her hands relatively flat. And a check swing on a high fastball. And we count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now for Italy, they had the leadoff runner at 3rd base. Imagine that. Against such a tough pitcher. We're talking before the game. There's another high one, 3-2. About the last 2 times these teams have met, they've only managed 5 base runners in those 2 games. That's the 2022 World Games and the 2020 Olympics. Did I mention that you were 2 of those 5 base runners? I don't know if I did on the air. Anyway, you were. There's a foul. And Lacatena is still alive, 3-2. And so after that, coming in with that knowledge, knowing just how tough it is, how few base runners you're going to get, the first one makes it to 3rd base, and then Ferremo, as if she knew she wasn't about to be the first one to give up a run. She struck out 3 in the 1st inning and has not looked back since. That one's caught out of the air by Janae Jefferson at 2nd base, and there's one away. Little looping line drive off the bat of Lacatena, and that's going to bring up Melanie Sheldon. Sheldon struck out one of the 7 Ferremo strikeouts, but she's made some nice plays at short. This one's inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Going back to the base runners for both teams, again, a different generation from when I played, but both of these teams are struggling to have timely hits. Even with USA, this game's only 3-0, but they've had runners on. They're just not able to hit them in, and that's what they need to get better at if they want to find themselves in the championship game in this tournament. And Italy, again, getting the leadoff runner at 3rd with no outs. You need to be able to have a timely hit and be able to get those runners in. That's how you're going to be successful.
There's a line drive base hit past the outstretched glove of Jefferson into right center field. That's the first base hit for Italy since the leadoff triple by Isabella Dayton. And it's Melanie Sheldon at 1st base. That was a solid swing. Didn't try to do too much, just hit a ball hard somewhere and it found a hole just past Janae Jefferson.
Yeah, Sheldon does a great job hitting that pitch where it's pitched, and we talk about that all the time, and that's timing it up. Runners on.
And Lisa Cicchetti is going to pinch hit for Giulia Longhi. Cicchetti, 28 years of age. She also attended college in the U.S., University of South Carolina, upstate. It's in Spartanburg, South Carolina. She is from Volate, Italy. She's playing in the league here since 2011, so she's very experienced between the lines. So Cicchetti pinch hitting for Longhi, who only had 1 at bat. She was 1 for 1. Getting her first look at Ferremo, swinging through the first offering, strike 1. Sheldon is at 1st. There's 1 away. It's 3-0. USA leading. Italy would need 1 more base runner to at least bring the tying run to the plate. And a strike right through there Ferremo not wasting time. 0-2 on Cicchetti.
And this is when you start to think a lot as a batter. You've seen Ferremo throw several changeups at any portion of an at-bat. Now you're down 0-2. The mental game, the thinking starts to play a part in this.
That one's outside, and almost a back pick attempt by Jaquish behind the plate, thinking about throwing behind Sheldon at first, who was maybe dancing off a little bit too far. Well, you definitely do not want to get picked off in this situation. 1-2. Strike three. Fastball at the top of the zone. And Cicchetti is gone. That's strikeout number 8. A little celebration for Ferremo. You don't think they feel the excitement?
Well, you can, and that's what she brings to the mound. As you can tell, this pitch is right down the middle. Cicchetti not expecting that at all, but a pitcher that gets so fired up, no matter what the game is, no matter if it's a practice game, if it's a championship game, that brings energy to your team, and that's why she's such a standout player and a leader in the mound.
And Kutsoyanopoulos swings and misses. Watching the replay of that pitch, that was just a seed out of her hand right to the mitt. Jaquish could have had her eyes closed and caught that one. 0-1 on Kutsoyanopoulos, who is 0-4-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It seems like when there's a base runner, Ferremo gets angry. That's the type of competitive spirit we're talking about. These players, they don't like to fail in any way. And,
well, she goes to her strengths, and that's what it is, the fast, the speed that she can blow past the Italy hitters, and that's what she does. She's not going to play games, she's going to get outs.
And that is the 9th strikeout of the game for Megan Ferremo. We are through 4.5 innings here in Castellones d'Estrada. USA leading Italy by a score of 3-0. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport.
Batting number 96, Nicole Bates.
Here we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. USA 3, Italy nothing. Nicole Sis Bates will step up. Her first plate appearance today. Shows bunt, looks at a strike. She is hitting in the place of Jocelyn Allo. And she went in and played shortstop. So it'll be Bates, Jaquish, and Janine Jefferson, 4, 5, and 6. And that one is a little bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to her. 26 years old, from Ceres, California. A University of Washington Husky, just like Heather Tarr. And she bunts that one. It's trickling to the third base side. No chance for Longi to make the play to first base. That's an infield single for Nicole Bates. She deadened it perfectly. I think it hit the front of the plate.
Well, super heads-up play, too. Julia Longi at third's playing back. Does hit that soft spot in front of the bag. A tough angle with where that ball lays for Julia to make that play. She's got to have a strong arm, and with Bates, the speed she does, she's not going to get her, but a good heads-up play, and now she finds herself on first as a leadoff runner.
And Jaquish looks at a strike on the first one. 0-1. Jaquish turns to look to the dugout for signs, see if maybe any kind of running play is on. With Bates and her good speed at first. Jaquish has walked and struck out, and that one is high. 1-1. There have been base runners in every inning for the USA, but they've only managed to put up single runs in the first 3 innings. There's a little tapper. That one hits the plate and scoots foul. 1-2 to Jaquish. This game was started by Cristina Toniolo. Alexia Lacatena still in the circle as the second pitcher for Italy. Toniolo went 2 2/3. And a check swing on a high pitch. They'll appeal. And no, she did not go around. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Toniolo, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks. She had 1 strikeout. Lacatena has been in there since 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Runner on first. There's a chopper foul again. Down the third baseline past Lungi into left field where Dayton's going to go run it down. The runs in this game, Amanda Lorentz drove home Haley McClenny in the first inning with a ground ball. Jesse Warren homered to center field in the second inning. And then in the third inning, USA got another run after Hannah Flippen led off the inning with a ringing double and then later came home and scored. There's a big swing and a foul ball. Still 2-2 on Savannah Jaquish with Bates at first base. Off speed, and she was able to foul that one away as well.
To point out, Lakatena coming in a tough situation, but not letting USA score. They've had runners on, and that's what she does. They might hit it, but she's able to let them not score. Again, you see Filler making the error and then coming up with a great play. And that's a lot. Lakatena producing ground outs where her defense can make those outs. And you see a lot of foul balls because they're not able to square her up with the spin that she has.
And just missed the upper part of the strike zone with that delivery. So the count is now full 3-2. Now, Lakatena, after the next two hitters, she will have gone one complete time through the lineup. And so Jaquish, this is her first look at Alexia. And she draws the walk. So 2 on, nobody out for the USA. And Janae Jefferson will come up to the plate. She singled and grounded out 1 for 2. So she got her first hit after going 0 for 3 yesterday.
Now coming to bat, number 22, Janae Jefferson.
And if you're Team USA, are you thinking, is this our inning where we're going to finally break through? They've had so many base runners. Jefferson showing bunt, pulls it back, runs up, and that ball hit the bat and went to the screen. That's a foul ball. Strike one. It's a bit odd. She showed bunt and pulled it back and was in the process of pulling the bat back and still fouled it away. Maybe a break for Italy.
Yeah.
As Gasparotto signaling the infielders. One strike pitch. That's lined foul. No bunting there. 0-2. Bates is at second base. She led off with a single. Jaquish is at first. She walked. Nobody out in the inning. And again, Jefferson getting rid of that pesky batting glove or towel or whatever was in her back pocket. 0-2. And that's downstairs, 1-2. If you're Lakatena, this is a portion of the game where you feel like, okay, we've been battling and we're in the 5th inning. It's still close, but you still have to dig deeper because it's every inning is just a battle, all 3 outs. I mean, you have runners on first and second. She's had runners in the last inning. And it's just one of those games where you just have to keep reaching back for more and try to find more in the tank.
You have to work for your outs. It's not going to come easy as any out in this tournament.
There's a line drive, base hit into right field. And the stop sign is held up at third as the throw comes in from right field. Piancastelli firing a cannon to Gasparotto on the fly. And so the bases are loaded for Jesse Warren. And there is nobody out. That was a solid single for Janae Jefferson. She's now 2 for 3 in this game. And look at that throw coming in from right field. Piancastelli has a good arm.
Yeah, she can be as far back as where she plays and beam that thing home. So a smart decision to hold the runner, to hold Bates at third, because again, you have no outs. Is this potentially the inning that they break through? Maybe, but you don't want to make that first out at home when you have someone like Piancastelli throwing that ball in.
And also, nobody out. You have Jessie Warren. She's homered already today. She's coming to the plate. The pressure is on Lakatena in Italy here. But also, on the other hand, if you're looking at this game through the lens of, well, we only have a very small chance of competing and holding off the USA, let's just see what happens. Is this the point where Lakatena is going to be like, all right, I'm going to throw strikes no matter what, and if you hit it, great, whatever. Let's see what happens. Maybe she lines into a double play. Who knows? Jessie Warren at the plate. And there's a drive to the gap, and that's going to bring some runs home. In to score Bates. Jaquish right behind her. And now Jefferson coming to the plate. The relay throw is not in time. And off the glove of Barbara going to third and sliding in safely there is Jessie Warren. She cleared the bases and doubled the lead for the USA. It is 6-0 on the 3-run double.
Well, you talk about Warren being hot with that home run earlier. Lakatena leaves this up too much for Warren and drives this thing all the way to the fence. Again, with the relay mistake. Bad throws from Filler, just resulting in those extra bases that an aggressive Team USA is going to be, and that's where the experience of Team USA versus Italy, starting with that pitch, you have to keep it low, no outs, bases loaded, anything up is going to most likely produce runs, and that's what happens. Any ball in any area to be driven into the outfield is going to happen.
It's going to stay in there. Looked like she was even momentarily confused about whether she was staying in or not. But the bases clearing double, and that's the hit that USA was looking for, the back-breaking bases clearing double. And Jessie Warren, 4 runs batted in this game. She's homered, and now she's cleared the bases with a ringing double to right center field. And for Lakatena, you know, like we said, maybe she figured, all right, bases loaded, I'm not going to walk anybody. You want to make them earn it. It's better to have it be a clean hit, and then you just tip your cap and move on.
Well, you have to think sometimes, too, work a ball or two off the plate. If you walk, it's only 1 run. If you leave something over the plate, it's potentially 4 runs, or 3 that we see here.
That was a great play by Longi. She fielded that hot shot off the bat of Jennings, looked the runner back at third, and then made a strong throw to first. There's 1 away. It's the type of thing where it's easy to mentally check out at some point. And Longi right there, still playing as if it's 0-0, checking, making sure you hold the runner at third. And now Maya Brady, the infield is back, so they're still going to give up the run on a ground ball up the middle, as Brady fouled that one off.
Well, yeah, with Team USA, once, like you mentioned, once they open that gate, once they bust the inning open, it's easy for, I guess, the wheels to come off. You know, you start making unnecessary throws and stuff like that. So play it safe, make sure we get an out, and try and get out of the inning is going to be the best thing for Team Italy to do here.
Now, sometimes when you have an opponent like that, the best strategy is to just say, hey, look, we're just going to not look at the scoreboard. We're going to just use this as an experience-building chance, right? You're playing against the top athletes in the world, and they're going to hit the ball hard. So you're going to get some chances to make some plays, right?
Well, Team Italy also being one of those top teams, though, in the world.
As a ground ball to second, Filler makes the play to first. Coming home to score is Warren to make it 7-0. And that is going to end the game on the runs ahead rule. As the 4th run to come around, of course, the 7-run lead after 5, the bottom half of the inning. And all in all, Italy, you know, they had some good swings against a very tough pitcher. But boy, USA was clicking on all cylinders in this game. We talked about how a little bit frustrated they might have been despite the victory yesterday against Canada. Well, today they got 4 runs batted in and a home run out of Jessie Warren. They got some excellent swings from Hannah Flippen and Megan Faremo, who absolutely stole the show from the circle. And they put up a convincing 7-0 victory over Italy in this game. So 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the USA. And no runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Italy. And you see the post-game festivities here. What a day of softball it's been. The second day here in Castellons de Strada. We saw lots of close games yesterday. Today we saw a little bit more distance between some of the teams, but we also saw another nail-biter between Netherlands and Australia. This
Okay, open to the divide, you border level border, and the equal probability. Okay? That about example is still the following equal pair of strengths for stand. Here. Next all parameters Next, we are going to discuss about the overall nature of overlap. Overall nature of overlap.
Overall nature of polar. Polar nature of Poland.
Listen carefully. Overall nature. Listen carefully. The common goals are things. Then the similar atoms were up to different atoms. Okay. The two similar atoms will go. For example, fluorine, hydrogen. If you are analyzing these, the electron density is exactly at the middle level. That means these electron pairs are equally shared, equally attracted by both the atoms. Understand? So, in this type of homoform, that is the type of atoms. There is no